Hey, ain't nothing like of George Clinton.
You got that right.
Always get you going. Hey, I don't want to get luck. They'll be like, well, we'll flag this baby. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, my lovely people? So do fries go with that shake?
I guess it does.
Okay.
I guess it does.
Let me tell you, George Clinton always knew how to get the party started right.
Exactly.
I was like, oh, stuff, she must be switching. Remember, they was like, oh, you fast, you switching.
So yeah, it definitely go with that shake then. Hey.
Okay, then. What color is your shake? What color is your shake? What flavor is your shake?
Caramel.
What flavor is your shake?
Caramel.
They had
Vanilla.
chocolate. There you go. I'm like,
Vanilla.
they had chocolate, strawberry, cream.
With the caramel in it.
Girl. Listen, we got so much to talk about. Hot topics with Nyk the Voice. Today's shop topic is meeting my family. Why? Why we have to meet the family? Listen, we get ready to get down with the get down. Okay?
Listen.
Let's get this show started.
Everything that happens is motivation. Everything that happens is motivation.
There's so much going on. I was watching the news and I saw that there is a higher airfare for solo flyers. Isn't that a word, flies? For the people to take flights by themselves, they are paying more for their airline ticket than those who go in a group or with someone, a fly buddy.
Yeah, Southwest has sales all the time.
They do because
Where
it's
it says that
well, let me say whose airline is charging more if you fly alone. Delta, United, and American. Now, I
the
was
only
thinking,
one I might do
really,
is United.
here's the thing though. So if you fly by yourself, it costs more. But if you bring a friend, I guess you get the friendly discount. That's what I'm trying to understand.
They say that the friend flies free.
Who? Which airline?
I know Southwest does. You
Okay,
bring a
well,
buddy, they fly free.
we ain't talking about
But I
Southwest.
think United does too.
I'm gonna have to check into that because I'm like, we ain't talking about Southwest. This is Delta, United, and American.
I think United does too. Well, they say fly free, but basically all they doing is splitting the fare.
It's not right, however they do it. Now we already
No.
talked about. Remember before you was able to bring a bag. Now you can't bring a bag. Then you can't bring a charger, and it can't be sitting on your lap because they think it's gonna start a fire. I get it to a certain extent. But now you're going to charge me more if I fly alone. Now, I knew even from before that if you got a straight flight, that flight costs more than a round trip. So you would just buy
Right.
a round trip ticket and didn't use it. But now to say, oh, if you flying alone, we're going to need your money. That's wild.
And
I
you
know,
know I fly a lot too, so it's like yeah.
right. We both do. We be
All
flying.
these
So
changes is
we be
ridiculous.
flying. The problem that I have is that you're going to charge me more because I'm by myself. Mm-mm. I think like something need to happen with that. They need to do something.
But I guess they're trying to get with, because the cruise ship's been doing that forever.
No,
If
I don't know
you
because I
sail
told
alone, oh
nobody.
yeah, you don't know that because you ain't.
I ain't getting on nobody's boat. Last boat ride,
But
what happened?
the cruises, they do the same thing. Cruise ships, if you pay more for us being single in a single room by yourself than you would if you have, and the more people that you have, the cheaper your rate is.
Now that's crazy because I would think that if we share a room, then we splitting it amongst ourselves, so it will be a little cheaper. But if you pay, let's say the room $1,500 for a cabin, I should be able to pay $1,500 and keep it the same. Why do I have to pay more because I want to be by myself? What is the
Right.
space on the on the cruise? What?
Yeah. That's, they're making money. They're
Okay,
making money doing that.
let me ask you this. So is it like a all inclusive thing? So it's like the food all there and you could just walk by and get yourself some food and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm nervous.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
All the
I'm
food
nervous.
options and everything. Yeah.
Well, I'm nervous because people don't be washing their hands. We don't we
Well,
a little
no,
deep.
it's not like a buffet. They have people serving you, like
Oh,
different, like they have different restaurants and different places. You get served. It's like going in a restaurant.
okay. So you serve, so I ain't got to worry about nobody digging and
Right.
flicking and that other stuff.
Right.
Okay. What's your thoughts about banning smoking in public parks?
That's outside. Like you said, public. Well, how you gonna ban smoking in public? But then I get it because some
In
people,
public parks.
right? I get it because you have some that smoke that are just ignorant and they just flick their butt anywhere. So it takes away the beauty from the beauty of the park with all that trash. So I kind of get it.
Okay. What about so you're looking at littering with the smoking.
Right.
Now I was happy about this ban. And I'm gonna tell you why. I was happy about this ban because it's not just cigarettes. But how often do we smoke somebody else's cigarette? Like 10, 15 years ago. You be sitting at the red light, they smoking in their car, puff,
Yeah.
blow out, it go in your window. I'm like,
Right.
now I didn't smoke me a cigarette. Well, now with the Mary Jane, I should have played some Rick James up on this mug. Mary Jane. Anyway, with that, you end up being high. So now we're talking public parks. So you have a lot of children that are at the park. But we know, like with these cigarettes, that secondhand smoke is what really harms the people.
Right.
So if I make a choice not to smoke, I didn't decide to smoke, but you're making my choice for me because you decide to smoke. Now what?
Yeah, like 'cause I stopped smoking in 2018, so it bothers me now. Whereas it didn't, I guess it didn't matter much before. And this is crazy. No, I'm gonna say this is crazy because even though I was a smoker, I hated smoke. I hated being around somebody smoking too, but I was a smoker. Like, yeah, how does that work?
Okay, so did you smell it
Uh-huh.
when somebody else was smoking?
Uh-huh. And it would get on my nerves. But I was a smoker because I would smoke too. But now that I don't smoke, I can't. That's why I'm so glad Ohio in the public areas, you are not allowed to smoke.
So
Versus Pennsylvania, you
what
can
about
still
the
smoke.
park? So we're talking the park. Public park, no smoking. I gotta go to the comments. Let's see. Bill said they want to control the outside, be respectful, but bruh. Okay. Then Cornell said, I wish they would ban smoking in apartment complex, I'm tired of picking up cigarette butts. So he's on the litter side like you were.
Right.
I'm on the, do my child need to be high because you want to smoke? That's
Yeah, that's true.
next bullet point. Look, here's another. It could be a pro or a con. So I'm going to give them to you. The question was, I don't remember us suffering from ADHD in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. Now, I did an experiment. I did some time ago. I think we were talking probably about what, 14 years ago, where what was the difference then than now? A lot of parents, remember it was like the flower child era, and a lot of parents was smoking Mary Jane around their children. So maybe we was just calm. And that's why anybody hungry. Get somewhere and sit down
Mhm.
or go outside, but it was in the air. So were they just calm? Next bullet. With everything that's going into it, so it's not all natural, people are being affected by it. That's another one. So if you are around someone, say you have your grandbaby and you're outside playing with your grandbaby and somebody smoke, is it okay for you to be high, for you to get that contact?
No.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to the comments. We went outside and the food. Yes, that I like that bullet point. So that's the answer to that one. As far as like children not being ADHD, we didn't have a term for it. The term was they are hyper. That was the thing. Oh, they just hyper.
Mhm.
Okay, let's go. Ernestine said, I hate to walk out of a building into a big cloud of smoke. I agree. Here's my thing with that, Ernestine. You're on your way to work. Nobody knows what your occupation is. But let's say your occupation is to save lives. You don't smoke, but your neighbor smokes. So now you're going to work high. And if that was your parent on an operating table, had an emergency and had to go into the ER, are you okay with that doctor performing a procedure or saving your loved one's life high?
No.
That's the question.
No.
619-902-2287. 619-902-2287. I want to hear. Nope, we should not have your contact. That's where I'm at. I was at a place and I had a contact. I learned something though. I was so happy because I had a contact and I'm seeing double and I'm like, what is happening? They were smoking.
Okay.
So they were smoking and they were smoking like outside, say it like, yeah, outside or in the garage. And you don't know, by the time you smell it, you already high, especially if you don't do, if you don't smoke anything. Well, I learned something. My head was hurting, pounding. I'm like, oh my gosh, something's going on. I said, I think I got a contact. Not sure what it is, but I know I just don't feel well. I had to call my cousin that smoked. I'm like, help me, because it felt like vertigo. Now, if you've never suffered from vertigo, thank God. Vertigo is when like the room is spinning constantly and you can't stop it. So your balance is off. Almost like when you go roller skating and you go around a rink and you can't stop and it just constantly goes, even though you're trying to stay still. So it's a constant dizzy feeling. They said, Mel, yeah, I think you high. Well, I had a Pepsi in my hand. So I ain't teaching nobody nothing, but I'm telling you what happened. And I kept drinking the Pepsi because I'm like trying to wake up and snap out of it. She said, stop drinking the Pepsi, give it here, because caffeine intensifies the high. And I was like, because people, you see them out there with the Red Bull and all those. And I'm like, I don't know why they doing that. I'm thinking they want to stay awake. Well, it intensifies it. The views and the topic of Shop Talk with Mel is not to educate your people or yourselves on how to intensify the high. It is to entertain you while teaching you. Okay? what not to do, like your girl, where I see, and now I'm getting ready to drive. So I see like 2, 3 parks. I was like, woo. I said, I can't safely take you there. I was like, I can't even take myself there because everything is double. Well, she gave me some hush puppies. That's like the bread. So I'm eating these hush puppies, throwing them back and drinking water.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually I got it together. So I felt like, because I'm one of autonomy, please ask me, ask for my permission. If you are out and somebody around you is smoking, don't assume that everybody in your age group does it. And don't assume because it's legal, i.e., cigarettes, tobacco, you know what I mean? Tobacco, you're chewing it, so you're being affected. But cigarettes, you're smoking it, so everybody around you are being affected. But don't
Mm-hmm.
assume that they are okay with inhaling what you have going on. So my thing is, if you're out and you smoking, even though it's legal, give them the courtesy to leave. Let somebody know, hey, we getting ready to blaze up. You down or not?
Right.
That to me gives me the option to say, I'm a chill, I'm cool with it or not. Let's go to the comments real quick. Nick, you want to read the comment from Ernestine? Are you able to see it? The comment for Ernestine? Oh, okay. Let's see. I think the environment plays a part. Our eggs are being exposed. Everything. That is maybe the reason for okay, and other diagnosis for the time being. Are you not entertained? He gonna use Shaq. Remember that? Are you not entertained? In Shaq's voice. I just think people should ask somebody. So the gummies, and then this is the response. I have a prescription. So my question is, I ain't judging nobody. I'm just saying what I'm saying. If you know somebody who's on a psych med and they just give it to you, or i.e., what's happening when people party ecstasy and they just drop it in your drink, is that okay?
No, it's not.
So why is this okay? You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's the only problem that I have. I just think people need to be respectful and give me the option to say, hey, but if you decide, that's why when it came out and when I was talking about it, when that, in Ohio, when they were legalizing it, when I was talking about which one, to pass it, what it meant, do what you do, but you are making a choice for you, do what you do. But when you are making a choice for everyone, and then somebody's driving, and everybody is their tolerance is not the same. I think people need to take that into consideration. So if like the gummies, I'm okay with the gummies because you are internalizing it and you're taking it. You see
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Versus just putting it out there. So the reason I brought this up is because it's happening not here, it's in France. And you have all those children. And it's almost like the exposure, like with cursing. You see the football coaches over here, we know where we're from, and we might hear somebody cursing. And then the football coach is cursing, and you be like, wait, my child don't do that. They was like, oh, they hear it at the house. No, everybody don't raise their children
Right.
the same way. So to protect the youth, that's why they're doing it. France is like, no, we banning it, no smoking in public parks. So now I asked you and the viewers and the listeners, do you think that that's okay to ban
I
it?
still think it's okay.
Okay, because I see something like they're trying to control everything that we do. Eh,
But do you want your babies to have that contact? So I understand my thing was the littering, but now, I didn't even think about because the babies are there. Yeah, you don't want your baby to have no contact. Now, if you smoke at your house in front of your child, that's your house, but
mhm.
not in public because your child might be used to it. Somebody else's child is not. So no, that's not okay.
And I
And
saw somebody
I'm all for it.
outside. They said we were outside. Well, you
It
can't go
don't
outside.
matter.
You might come back high.
It don't matter because you smoking in front of somebody around somebody else's baby, period. Outside or not. That's just not cool. Do what you do in front of yours, but don't subject everybody else's to them rules. Like,
Let's go
no.
to our next hot topic. The prisoner who died and medical staff saved him. He was doing a life sentence. Now he's suing. He's suing because he was doing a life sentence. He died. They brought him back, and he said he should be free. Agree or not agree? Not agree. Okay, hear me one more time for those who missed it. An inmate / prisoner, whichever term you choose, was doing a life bid, a life sentence. He died. They got the AED. I call it the jumper cables for those who may not know. Boom, throw them on him, pop, pop. Brought him back to life, saved him. Now he thinks he should get out because he died.
No, sir. That don't
Well,
count.
that's a good
That
case.
does not count.
You don't think
No, that don't count. If he wanted to be free, they should have just let him go. But that don't count. You tried it.
no, pop, pop.
You tried it. You tried it. Now you gonna have everybody with a life sentence trying to get out, trying to do something to get out. Nah, that don't
Now
count, bro.
that was the case. Now my thing is, if he could have, died and went to the hospital bringing him back. Does he have a case? Do you think he got a case?
No.
No.
Wait a minute. How did he even come up? He tried it. That's all I'm gonna say is he tried it. That's funny though. You think just because they brought you back to life that was your life sentence? Your life sentence should be over with? Nah, bro. They brought you back to life. Hello. They brought you back.
I want
Like,
Cornell.
come on.
I want Cornell though. Think about it. He got a point. One life sentence, not two. Now, when you go, how often have we heard they're like, you are sentenced to 3 life sentences? And you be like, what? Damn, you only live once. Would that fall into this case?
No.
No.
No. You're still in the same life.
Listen, he was about to
Just
die.
brought you back.
He was about to die, but the medical staff took an oath. We got to save you. We done brought him back, and he's woke up, and he's still in the same spot.
Exactly. You only get one life to live. If they brought you back, you still live in that same life. You not listen, your name didn't change, your age didn't change, nothing changed about you when they brought you back. You still the same person. So therefore, one life to live.
One life to live. He died, and they brought him back. They brought him back.
They brought him back to the same life, though.
Would you be upset? Now, I was out, and I didn't tell y'all to bring me back. I'm not a full cold. like, that's a valid point, though. Do you think he got a case, though? Nick, you said no case.
No case.
I see you guys in the comment. Do we have a case or not?
Does he have, wait a minute. Now, does he have did they say whether he had a DNR?
No.
Because if he had a DNR, then he might have a case.
But here's the thing: when you are in that situation, we don't ask those questions. We don't ask, hey, are you a full code? Then boom, boom, which we should, but that's not part of it during the intake process. You would think that we would. Problem is, let me say this: being in that system, being in the penal system, working in the penal system, it's so many people. So you're looking at like 3,000 inmates. Do you know how many cases that we will be having? We will be sued. Our objective, our goal is to sustain life. We are there to save you. That's why you get the staff. But if there's somebody who is a DNR, like if you're in the hospital, so if you're in the hospital and you're a DNR and somebody like me come along, if I'm out in the public, boom, I'm covered. But if I'm part of the crew and I work there, I'm part of the staff, the medical staff, and I see that you're a DNR and I do CPR, that's a case because I'm responsible for looking at you, looking at your chart and knowing these things. And even like at nursing facilities, the same thing. Before we go to a room, if they be like, oh, room 205, blah, 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 I need to look at that chart to see if they're a DNR because the family can sue you.
Right.
Now, in there, girl, them people ain't got nothing to do but sue you.
Like, so if it's that case and you have a DNR and it's documented with your medical people, I mean, then I can kind of see his point because I'm a DNR. It's not my fault y'all don't ask that question. It's medically documented with my physician that I am a DNR. So in that case, I can kind of see it.
So we could save you because you said it's medically documented with your physician, but due to HIPAA, we don't know.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's we're covered by the Good Samaritan law.
Oh, okay.
So we'll do that if we're out on the street. But being incarcerated, this is going to bring up another point. It's going to be something just as Ms. Gunn said, they failed, changed the law. You get so far into specifics, and you be like, okay, wait, that's the question.
Okay.
Now, I see somebody said to the objective is to preserve the organs. You're preserving those organs if you are a donor. We don't even know that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Because if you don't know they're DNR, you don't know if they're a donor.
Ours is save a life. That's the whole thing. Y'all know I'm night shift. I'm night shift. Keep them alive to 7:05.
You know what, Mel? Really? Listen, now let me ask you this: being that you work,
you ain't dying on my shift. Go ahead. What'd you say?
Being that you did work in the prison system, I doubt any inmate thought about that when they, thinks about that when they're being incarcerated. But if an inmate, especially if you got life in prison without possibility of parole, and this inmate does have a DNR with their medical staff, can they tell the medical staff there, I am a do not resuscitate. If I die in here before my sentence is over with, or if I die in here, do not bring me back. Period.
Now that would be nice if they could, but watch this. We had suicide. There's so many people, especially during the fall time. That's when prison suicide rate is increased. Now, from SAD, the acronym, seasonal affective disorder, during that time that a lot of us suffer from. If somebody calls and say, hey, boom, somebody slit their wrists, blah, 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 just giving examples, our objective, we have to save them. Nobody dies in the prison. So sustain till you get out. Yep. Nobody dies in the prison. How about that's our mindset?
But wait a minute. How does that work with the old person that's in prison and they die? Y'all they did.
That's why they bring him back. Listen, that's why they brought him back.
Because he wasn't old.
He was old, but I'm saying that you have that mindset that nobody dies in the prison. And a lot of people have it at their facilities. You don't want that mark against you because it'll, the stats, they'll be there. How many people died in this facility, blah, 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 blah. So you want to do the best job that you can do. Mine, nobody dies around me. And that's in my mindset. You ain't going out on me. No, you're not doing that to me. Is that a selfish thing? Yeah.
But what if it's like the natural causes of death? Like they just gone.
Natural causes. I'm doing what Bill say. I'm preserving them organs. It ain't on my porch. No. So,
not on your watch at all, huh?
At all. You gonna stay. I'm gonna keep pumping that heart because that blood and that oxygen gonna go to that brain and keep on doing it.
Right. To the next shift come in. Your turn. All right, if you die on you, that's cool.
Tired like a mug. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. And you should see like
Amen.
people, they'll be like, nervous and scared, and they're afraid of the unknown. And I always
Right.
say, I'm like, you gonna be fine because we both want the same thing. You to be alive until when? 7:05. Like, let me clock out, ma'am,
He
sir.
just adamant about that. You stay alive until 7:05. When I'm clocked out, then you can
Then you
croak.
do all you want to do, ma'am or sir. But in this case, I think he really, I think he got a suit. Well, clearly he got a suit because they followed up and they're like, oh, yep, that you ain't say what kind. You ain't say
Yeah, okay. Well, in that
how.
case, I guess so then.
How many people have said they died on the operating table? Now, what if that's him? He on the operating table and y'all have brought him back and he got to finish out the second life. I did one life. My second one, I still got to be here. Nick, you said yes.
I
Hmm?
say, yeah, it's still the same life.
Well, but and I think it goes to the punishment. So you love your life, so now we're going to take your life away, like somebody said in the comments. They're
Right.
controlling. So this is a punishment. Okay, I see where it said you die in prison when they give you the lethal injection. Yeah, for those who actually practice capital punishment. It's not a lot of prisons that do, but that's a punishment. And that's what the prison system, the penal system is to be, a punishment. So that's why that whole you can't opt out. Because real talk, if you sit there, think about it. You sitting there, you got to do a life sentence. You're miserable. Don't bring me back. There's a lot of people that'd be like, if I go from natural causes, please don't bring me back because I got stuff
Right. Just,
in. You know what I'm saying? So it's supposed to be a form of punishment. But if you want to just check out early, to me, speaking of that lethal injection, I think that that's a cop out. I think you need to live every day and think about what you did, just as the family has to think about their loved one or how you harmed somebody else. So, do you get to just say, okay, it's all over? That's a cop out. I don't think it's fair. So, I'm like, no.
mhm.
All right, I'm reading the comments. It's the same life. That's why they say bring you back to life. Like Nick said, some
Right. Like the same exact
sir,
life.
if you die 9 times, they say that a mother giving birth, that she dies when the baby comes out, when they cut that umbilical cord. That's what people say. They equate giving birth that the mother dies. It's the old adage. But when
I
you
was
look
in the
at
room with
what? Huh?
was in the room when my god when my one of my godchildren was
Not,
born,
not the
and
dying that you see, not what you
oh,
think.
okay,
Yeah. Not like this cat. This cat was out. They ain't have to get the jumper
he
cable.
was done.
They don't get the jumper. Well, most times they don't have to use the jumper cables for the woman. What's your thoughts on the lady in Atlanta with the anti-abortion act that they have going on? And she died, I want to say from a aneurysm or a brain
Yeah.
tumor, and she was 11 weeks pregnant, and they have her on a ventilator, keeping her alive until the baby is full term, so that they can take the baby. Obviously, she won't be able to deliver. Her family feels like we cannot grieve, we cannot mourn our child. That's her parents. But the law is saying she has a human life that's on life support to keep this child alive. What's your thoughts to that? Listening audience, I want to know your thoughts too.
When I first saw that, I was on the fence with that, because that's making her suffer. But then again,
She's gone.
it's not the child's fault, and give that child a chance at life because you don't know what you know what I mean. So I'm on that one. I'm still on the fence on, like, I'm teetering both. Like, it's hard because as a loved one, you don't it, a loved one, the one that had to see a family member and had to make a decision to take them off of life support
Mhm.
because I'm the oldest child and my father was gone. So it was like you as that family member, you don't want to. That's a long time to have to watch your child or your sister or your brother or whoever to
Mhm.
watch them suffer. But again, when she died, because brain dead, that baby didn't. So it's like a life for a life. So I'm kind of on the fence. It's kind of hard, but it's like a life for a life. You want to keep her on to preserve this life, or do you want to just let her go and let this child that is still clearly alive go? So it's a tough one.
Let me ask you this. There's some Catholic hospitals, if during childbirth they have a choice to save the mother or the baby, they save the baby. And they say because the mother already lived her life. Now, with everything going on, and I'm asking you guys, shop talk with me. With everything going on and how life is lifing, do you think that that's a good thing? My
That's not fair. That's not fair to either the mother or the child.
Because the
But
child don't know the mother and who's going to raise this child. And
exactly, you
how
don't
is
know what
that
type of
child
life.
going to turn out because maybe they can't cope with, I don't have a parent. So does that
Right.
child just go out there and be Tarzan? Like, let's really think about this because even with the young lady there, even though she's brain dead, so she's gone, and you just got this shell of a body on life support. My mind, I'm like, ooh, that bill. I think that they're actually keeping her organs preserved, being on the breathing machine to kind of treating this baby like a lab rat, an experiment to see how is
Yeah,
this
that's
child
what it sounds like.
and is this child going to be a normal, air quotes for the listening audience, child, or is it going to be a special needs child?
Yeah, because if the mother's not alive, what type of nourishment is that baby getting? So yeah, I never even thought about that. That baby's not going to get the proper nourishment, even with you know, with because I'm quite sure they have this mother on a feeding tube or whatever. But so yeah, that baby's still not going to get the proper nourishment or anything like that. So yeah, now that you say it that way, yeah, if the mother is gone, then it's still kind of hard because you never know. But the baby's not getting proper nourishment, so like you said, you don't know if this baby is going to be special needs when they are born. And again, like without a mother, you don't know what kind of life this child is going to have because the family might not want the baby after the baby is born. And if the baby ends up in the system, you don't know, with the way people are nowadays, you don't know who will end up with that child, what they'll end up doing to that child with sex trafficking and everything else. And these nasty pedophiles who love babies like
Or,
young,
or there's some
so you
people,
don't know.
yeah, or there's some people who can't deal with it. That's why they getting that amniotic fluid to see if your child will have Down syndrome early on. People are able to check and see, oh, okay, is everything copacetic? Because they want a normal, air quotes for the
Right.
listening audience, child. Now, with the parents who lost their child, I feel as though the government is not even giving the parents the respect or allowing them to choose because they're going to be stuck with this child unless dad comes up. So they can't
Yeah.
really mourn their child. They can't put her in the ground. They can't close that chapter. No closure for them either.
Right. Oh yeah, it's kind of hard. But then again, if they save the mother or not the baby, you don't know what the mother would be like afterwards. So it's kind of hard because some women will be like they would go ahead and take my life if it come to me or my child, save my child. But then some will be like that's not fair. So it's one of those you
It
darned if you
ain't
do,
one
but darned if you
of those
don't.
because I'm gonna tell you, I had the option to be to have my children at one hospital or another. And it was another because I was like, oh, wait a minute, what? And then they told me, that's how I know. They said, well, if something were to happen, we do save the child because you lived your life. I said, we do walk out of this mug. We going to the other hospital, ma'am, because I can get pregnant again. But I'm looking at the bigger picture. What are we
Right.
putting out in society? How I don't want my child to be the one knocking somebody over the head because they can't mentally deal with why their friends have parents and
And they don't.
right and feeling like my mother, instead of looking at it as my mother died giving birth to me and it's a gift, they have that why. I wanted my mother. How is she? Everybody's telling you about how your mom was. So all you have is their memory and you just don't know what that child think. I'm like, man, sorry about that. I mean, I ain't trying to be funny, but or I'd be like, well, we got a rainbow baby because it's gonna be another one. Like, no, I'd be like, just you know how we do it. Black people be like, God know what he doing. It wasn't meant to
Right.
be. And you go on ahead. And they be like, oh, they lost a child. That's us. The other ones be like, oh yeah, mm-mm. And I
I
don't
mean, I
know.
lost 3, so
Yeah, see, and here's the thing. Okay, so you are in that position right now, and you're in that position, and they choose, they say, okay, da 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 da, this is it, they letting you know. What would be your option if you had a choice and you were at that hospital? Right now, today, the way the world is going, would you be like, save my child? I can't hear you.
no, no,
So it's like,
no.
it, to me, it would be more so like a struggle.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
It would be, but no. The way the world is going now, no, nope,
You're,
nope. Just
mm-mm.
because if it was meant for me to have a baby, I would have, you know what I mean, my
Right,
own
right.
biological, then I would. But yeah, no. Not with the way the world is now, no. Because all of that, like I said, will run through my mind. Like, who's going to be taking care of my child? Are they going to get,
Are they
will they
gonna
get
get
good?
poor? Because we
Right.
know that it's quite expensive to be poor.
You
People
too.
don't get it. They don't get it. I'm like, listen, when you poor, it's pretty expensive being poor.
Right.
Because it's like, I'm gonna pay this, but you know what I mean? And then everything happens. Like, listen, that's that's an expense. Look, that's an expensive state of mind and presence.
Right.
Look, oh, I see y'all in the comments. Save me. Right. I can cope. I done dealt with this. I have navigated these terrains. This child has not. And
Right.
then you have those who will use, the fact like, okay, you don't have your mother. So they kind of give you passes. So if you exhibit bad behavior, what do the people say? They say, oh, their mom, passed away. They're dealing with this. We make excuses for why somebody acts a certain way. So I just see
Right.
it just being a cycle, a vicious cycle over and over. I don't know. So, Nyk, you said the dude got to do all his lives. Go and do. You got a life sentence.
Just go ahead and do it.
He got an attorney. He got an attorney, girl.
And
So,
he'll probably win. He'll
well,
probably win.
and then he get to walk out, whatever his crime was. Or they'd be like, "This is a rare case. So, by this being a rare case, we're gonna give you another life sentence."
Ooh.
I, let's touch on Elon Musk and President Trump. Two people, a lot of people said that they're the same on Twitter, fighting on Twitter. Do y'all remember when back in the day with what was it, MySpace, and the young kids would go back and forth arguing on MySpace, and we gonna meet up at the mall?
They do it on Facebook still, grown folks.
Crazy. but the president and the richest man, oh, Twitter fingers.
Listen,
Go ahead.
we already know that's why his doggone account was banned in the first place on Twitter. It was banned the first time he was president.
We call it Twitter. It's Elon didn't change it to X, but yeah.
So like,
when it was
did you think it was gonna be any different this time? No, he gonna be 10 times worse. Orange Folius is a big child.
Well, we got two, but here's the interesting part. So Elon owns Twitter. He could ban them. There's a different owner. See that? You see? So some people feel as though that this is just a ploy, so that he could get his money back up, because you know how people dogged all his, look, the Tesla, the Cybertruck, his stock went down. It plummeted when he went into the White House. So some people feel as though that it's a ploy, but then there's people like us that know that people play little childish games, talking about he gonna sell the truck. He was out, yeah, get rid of it. Y'all petty like that?
Very. We know that he's petty. Now, Elon, we just now finding out that he's real petty. We already knew that Orange Folius was petty. We knew this. He's been petty.
But do you think that it's socially acceptable from the richest guy versus the president? The petty.
No, it's not acceptable, but we already, like I said, we've already experienced this with Trump. It's not acceptable. He don't care. He's been doing this mess. So it's like, oh, they fighting. Okay.
All right. Who's the most pettiest? Elon, President Trump, or 50 Cent?
50 Cent.
I can't hear you. Who the most pettiest? Callers, go ahead. 619-902-2287. 619-902-2287. Who you got for most pettiest?
50 Cent. He is the most childish. Sorry, sir. But yeah, he's the most childish out of all. The pettiest. He wins the Petty King Award. I thought I was petty. I call myself the high priestess of petty, but my petty ain't got nothing on 50. Now I can out petty Elon and Trump, but my petty ain't got nothing on 50. Nothing. Nada.
Crazy.
Yeah. He think of stuff, like I said, childish. He think of stuff that you be like, dang. Like, yeah. 50 win that hands down.
Okay. Somebody said 50 and Trump in the battle, but 50 for the win.
Yep. I'm telling you. Like, sorry.
Oh, speaking of 50 in his shirt, they're talking about some free Diddy. That is silly. Diddy got a win. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. They were in the courtroom. Jane Doe was there, and she was testifying for the prosecutor. This is the sad part about this, and I ain't gonna stay here too long. They keep asking about the details of the relationship and what Diddy likes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say this last stuff too much, but Jane Doe said that they had to watch male porn. He made her watch male porn for 15 hours. 15 hours of watching Denzel? I'll be like, I don't want to see people sword fighting. 15 hours? I need you guys.
These are some weak women. I'm sorry.
What, you know what though? Here's the thing. I don't even know if you would consider that being a weak woman. She just doing what he likes. She's sitting there chilling.
Well, why complain about it now though?
Noodles, just like, like it's.
Why complain about it now? If you're doing what he likes,
she's not complaining. They called her on the stand.
Oh, okay.
So that's the difference. And they keep trying to get him with a RICO charge. So they had their conversations and blah, 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 blah. Her story sounds very familiar. Her story sounds like Cassie's story, but Cassie moved on. So now here's my next person, minus the black eyes. So he wasn't hitting her. So I'm thinking, okay, is this what, and this was as recent as 2018 until he got arrested.
Oh, wow.
I said, now who is Jane Doe? Would that be, what's the name, Young Miami or somebody? What happened to her? Where's she at? Because I seen her on the yacht the last time.
Yeah, especially if it's been recent, because she's the most recent. So, girl, everybody know you was with him. So, what's the purpose of the Jane Doe? Because you don't want nobody to know how freaky you are? Like,
Listen,
what?
if you go to Armon Wiggins, ARMON Wiggins on YouTube, let me tell you, if you want to laugh, he's in the courtroom. But the way he tell these stories, I was hollering. Now, here's what's interesting. They asked her, the prosecutor asked her, well, don't you want to live your own life? Because he was paying just what you said on here. He was paying $10,000 for her rent. So she signed up for him, I guess, to be his personal freak toy. And she signed up for it. And she knew, she said, well, I had to get my rent paid and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so you're making a conscious decision to do this. So they asked her, well, don't you have dreams of your own? And she said, yes. Yeah, y'all can see this in the transcript. And they said, what would you like to do? The defense asked that question. I said, oh, this is why it's a win for him. She was like, I would like to start an OnlyFans. That's why I said the prosecutor need to screen these people a little bit better, because that matches what you are trying to talk about and what you are trying to say you're a victim to. Hey, little while, right?
How old is she? Because
Grown, these people are grown, so they can't blame no R. Kelly mess on him.
I know they grown, but like, which age?
I don't know, because she's a Jane Doe, so we don't have all that information. But I will say that they're trying to pin this whole racketeering. She went out of the country. She said they were in love. He took her on trips. So she actually is tearing apart whatever the prosecutor's case, what they're trying to say. Like, no, you ain't just take her over there just for this. She said they were vacationing. They were in love. This is my man, my man, my man. So what you gonna do?
There's nothing you can do.
Now, with President Trump saying if they don't give him a fair trial, he'll pardon him. What's your thoughts on that?
He got something on President Trump.
Well, you see what Elon said, right?
Mm-hmm.
On Twitter.
You know, being petty now because he mad at him and want to air everything out. But
yeah, talk about Epstein. I said, this is a lot. Now,
the house cards is finally getting ready to crumble, I guess.
Falling down. They've been falling down. See the people saying the Trump on them tapes.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Listen, everybody on these tapes. My thing is, if you get ahead of the story, if I call it greedy. They be like, oh, I'm bi, I'm this, I'm that, I'm sexually fluid. Greedy. You greedy. Just say I'm greedy. Put that out there. Yeah, and you like SCX. That's your thing. You get ahead of it, who cares? And see, my thing is, guess what? I ain't interested. I ain't that interested in who you sleep with. If you my man, now I'm interested. I have personal investment here.
Right.
I don't. Go. I'm like, why are we telling our business? Why are we feeling as though that society needs to know what we are into? I ain't that interested in you.
No.
Like why? Go in the closet. Midgets, go back in the cupboard. Like, why is this a thing?
I mean, if you tell us you a freak, okay, but do I need to know specifics now? Okay, I just know you a freak. But
And I,
ma'am, sir, I didn't ask you for your specifics. Why are you telling me this? I don't care.
you know what I come to realize? The more open people are with this reality television, when you've seen it all, you don't care anymore. Remember when
Exactly.
reality first came out and you saw, like, prime example, The Real Housewives of Atlanta. You looked, it was at the beginning with Nene, you were like, oh man, shade. But now it has become the norm, air quotes for the
It's
listening audience.
it's getting boring.
It's getting boring. So I'm like, can we put our clothes back on now? Why everybody's body look the same? Can we talk about why certain people did a poll, non-melanated? There, let me make sure I word this right. Did you know that there are a lot of non-melanated people who feel as though that they don't need to wash their hands after they use the restroom?
I know some melanated people that do that with their nasty tails, but anyway.
I'm shocked because usually we gonna do it. Unless you like my grandson.
I mean, you can expect that out of little
Let me
kids because
tell
you
you,
got to teach them, but grown
no,
folks,
no, I don't expect it out of a child. This is what this child says to me. He said, I didn't touch my private, so I don't have to wash my hands. He like this with his hands up in the air. I said, you little, you telling me you got control. But there is something wrong with people who do not wash their hands after they use the bathroom. Now, it is said that if they do number one, females, it's a lot of females, won't wash their hands. If they do number two, they'll wash their hands. Who is eating this food that these folks are preparing?
I don't know if I think I might have told y'all a story, but speaking of that, it's nasty either way. But the chick from that used to be at
Yeah, on the real.
yeah, the one not on the real,
Adrian.
yeah, on the real. What's her name?
Adrian.
Adrian.
What was they called? 3LW.
Yeah, she don't wash her hands, and she said that she if
She
she
said
at
it on
home
live
and
television.
she do number one, she don't wash her hands. But I have a funny story now. Me, when I was in Houston, I was doing Lyft,
I don't
and there
know
was
what's funny about this, but go ahead.
in
Hands.
because I had posted a whole video and it came up in my memories a couple weeks ago, and I bust out laughing. But so I was working out of the airport, and there was this one gas station that I would go to all the time, and I went in there the one day, and like the first door, the first stall, the door was missing, and the toilet seat was missing. And I'm like, I don't know. Somebody was in the second stall, and they was working
Wait,
it out over there in the second
wait
stall.
a minute. Where was you at? The gas.
It was a gas station.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't eat gas station food? Go ahead.
So, and they had a Burger King attached to it. So,
The Burger King, have it your way.
right. So I'm sitting there waiting for the second stall to come open, and I was like, wait a minute, somebody over there working it out, and it was smelling kind of bad. So I was like, I might have to just go ahead and go to the first because I ain't got time to be here all day. So I went to was going to go to that first one, and there was no toilet paper. I was like, never mind. And there was little pea speckles all over the rim because there wasn't no seat. It was broke. So one of the gas station workers comes in. So I'm telling her there's no toilet paper in there. She looked at me like and went in there and went to the bathroom anyway. So I was like, nasty heifer. She comes out. She comes out after
Okay.
she done and walk out the door.
She worked there. Did they have food?
Mhm.
Did they serve food at this gas station?
Yeah, they serve food on that side as well as the Burger King side. Now, get this though.
Go ahead.
So I go out to ask about toilet paper at the cash register. They said, "Oh, Burger King handles that." So when I was like, "Okay," when I looked up, she was taking she went over to Burger King to get toilet paper and was taking it back over to the bathroom. The girl that worked on the gas station thought that was in there. So I was like, oh, by the way, she went in there and did not wash her hands when she came out, and she went to the bathroom.
You told?
Yes, I did. So then, because now you're touching all the food, and then she comes back out when I came out the bathroom, because I went back in there. She put the toilet paper in there. So I went to go around and I looked. I was like, what happened to this pee speckles? Not only did she drip dry, didn't wash her hands, but she sat her butt on the toilet and there was no pee speckles left. So she had somebody else pee all on the back of her, all in her drawers. Now, the other chick that was in the bathroom, I was talking about this girl loud, like before I left out the bathroom. While the other chick was in the other stall working it out. I come back in, they both in there talking Spanish, right? But they can understand English. And the chick that was in there is a Burger King worker. She turned the water on, rubbed her hands up under the water, and then went and got paper towels. You work at the drive-thru, ma'am, handling people money. You just got through taking a monster dump, smelling up the whole joint, and all you did was run your hands under the water. I was done. Completely done. I stopped going to that gas station. I stopped because I used to every morning go and get my breakfast or something from there, and we'll go through the drive-thru. And then so that's how I knew who the chick was, little red chick. I got outside. I went on live or on video, and no, I made a video and then posted it on Facebook. I said names, and I said where I was at, and I talked about them like a dog.
Interesting about that. The interesting thing is, if they do that publicly, you're probably
doing do it at home,
much less at home. Now, I looked up the stats. There's no number stats, but they're saying 1/3 of Americans do not wash their hands after they use the restroom. So, my question is, why?
Because they're nasty.
Maybe they forget.
They trifling.
Maybe they weren't taught.
Oh, especially the few melanated ones that I know to do it. I used to be like, if you don't take your butt back in there and wash your hands, you nasty son of a.
That's what we usually do. We go off. That's what we usually do. We go off. Be like, if you don't get yourself back in, I know you ain't just walk up out of here. Even strangers. So you ain't gonna wash your hands? Here you go. I left the water on for you. But that's a problem. See, that's why I don't do potlucks. I won't do potlucks. I'll be like, nope. But overall, and then just think about it. Somebody washed their hands and they made the potato salad.
Lord.
Is that pepper? Is that pepper? Is that paprika? What is that in the potato salad?
You gonna make me stop eating people potato salad altogether. Ew.
That's crazy.
Ma'am. Yeah.
Listen, one of the listeners actually brought it up that a lot of white people don't use wash rags.
You see me study doing this.
I don't know what that is on the talk show because the listening audience.
Non-melanated. Only the non-melanated.
You mean this side. That's that.
Well, I'm light skinned, so it don't matter.
And they all look the same. Here's that loofah. Is that considered a rag? Like loofah? if I don't have a washcloth or rag, aka rag, I don't.
That loofah is doing the same thing because it's actually exfoliating. So yes, because I have my face rag, and I have some for the bottom, and my face rag, wash my face. Then I have separate one for my bottom, but then I have the gloves, and I have a mitt scrub. And when I'm scrub, so I have all three. Yeah.
So are you able to wash this mitt? Or how often do you throw it away? Is it like a toothbrushing, or like after 30 days you change out your toothbrush?
No, you wash them.
You throw it in
you do a washcloth.
Oh, I didn't know that. Now I want to say I was looking at the comments, and the listener said rag to wash rags. When I read that comment, I thought about the rags that be on the background of pictures on Facebook. They look like they brick hard. The ones that be under the sink that you wash the sink out with. I feel like
Oh yeah, nah,
so when I see the rag, I feel like,
no,
is that the crunchy? Look, is that the crunchy washcloth, sir? Like, what are we saying?
not
Okay,
the crunchy one.
I know. Okay, see, a lot of people said that they don't use. Would they use their hand, and then they gonna go out
Hmm.
there and put some raisins in that potato salad?
Yeah, I know a bunch of that's how they use their hand. They'll tell you, oh, I don't use it. I just get the soap and with my hand.
Taking
No,
the bar, they take the bar. So your bar of soap, you got to guess this at your house, and they taking your whole bar of soap, and they like
that ain't right. That ain't even right. That's just ew.
with your bar of soap.
Ew. Ugh.
But it's a lot
Yeah.
of people that do that, and you don't even know. All that stuff that's jumping off in your bathroom when they say, "Can I use your restroom?"
Right.
Ain't nobody gonna be letting nobody in. They're gonna be like, I didn't listen to this, and I don't know what you got going on. Leave that door cracked. Not okay. Not okay.
No,
Okay.
it's not.
That's
None of it.
probably why, you know what? That's probably why people use the liquid soap now. Because they say
Yeah,
somebody,
I keep that. You ain't gonna put your hands on my bar, so you better that dispenser.
you
Press
go
it.
look,
I keep.
you go to use your soap the next day and there's a pube sitting on it.
Yeah, that,
You
can't even stand to see my own
almost
pubes
not.
on a bar soap.
Wonder, look, now the people probably look and be like, I always wonder how that pube got there.
Listen, yeah, that's just no. Please use that soap dispenser right there. I keep liquid soap, and it's the antibacterial type. So yeah, it's
That
I'm not playing
might
that.
be the safest way. That might be the safest way.
Baby, listen, you come out there, and I know you didn't. If you come out the bathroom, if you at my house, and you come out the bathroom, and I did not hear no water run. No, you didn't wash your hands. Or if you wash your hands, and I hear the soap going, my bar soap going clink back in the thing. When you come out, I'm gonna have a wet rag. Like, don't play with me. I'm gonna have a wet rag, and as soon as you come out, dead in your face, pow, like you nasty. Ugh.
Here's my thing. When you use the soap and you wash your hands, after you rinse your hands and you don't have no bubbles down there, I'm gonna need you to rewash. Go ahead.
Thank you.
I'm
That's
gonna
what
need
I'm
you to
saying.
rewash. You ain't the
Because
bubbles.
all you did
The
was rinse
bubbles
them
are
underwater.
in the base of the sink because you need more soap, young man.
Ooh
Okay, let's
wee.
go to the comment.
Yeah.
Boomer Reddy said there's a video that there's a white guy who said that wash rags are for dirty people.
I saw that. I saw that. And I
Did
was like, and not using a wash rag is for dirty people.
Well, let's look at it. Let's look at it from this angle. Maybe he feels that way because if we have to use a washcloth, then we're really dirty. Maybe that's where he's thinking. Like all I got to do is just rinse off and use my hand. How many hands do you shake? And
Thank you.
you're shaking a
All
dirty
the
hand.
surfaces that you touch.
Forget that. These people using your bar of soap. They bent over using your bar of soap, and you don't even know. Like
Yeah.
that's where I'm at. Like, hold on. Okay, look at that. Fellas on the job. I'm reading this comment is from Ish. Fellas on the job at a lot of them don't wash their hands coming out of the stalls and from the urinals. I just be shaking my head. And then they use that handle. See, that's why they got that foot thing now. That's probably why so many people do not wash their hands after using the restrooms. So now you got that foot thing that you can open the door after you wash your hands and you don't have to touch the handle.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
See,
That's what I.
that's why I don't fool with gas station food. I don't want it. I don't want it. But now, just as you said, like Burger King, you go in the restaurants, you just pray that whoever the cook is back there are clean.
Wash their hands. Or the person that's at the drive-through or at the cash register that's touching your fries and your money and then giving money. But yeah, that's just no. That's a no. Especially and it's crazy because it's crazy that these restaurants even have to put signs on the back of the door telling the employees to please wash your hands before you leave. But now you see why they do it, and clearly a lot of them are still ignoring that. Nasty.
Do you remember when they first started that? I thought that was the weirdest thing. I was like, what? That's a given. But everybody is not raised the same way. And
Exactly.
let me say this, even when they bring a dish, you will hope your family is clean, but everybody got somebody in the family that you be like, mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that they don't wash their hands, they house nasty. Stuff everywhere. They be like, nah, mm-mm. And not that they have bugs, you just be like, nah, you bring the ice. That's what you
Listen,
do.
when I lived in Brunswick, Georgia, about 20-something years ago, and I was going with this one guy, his brother and sister-in-law used to love to cook out and have people over. So we would go over there, and I would be wondering why the family would only eat certain things. Like if they knew other family members brought, they would eat with other, but not what the host would make. And I went to go make a plate, and like my boyfriend was like, "I'm like, what are you? What?" He's like, first of all, you know they got roaches in because yeah, they was all in the car. They was sitting there watching movies with the rest of us and everything else, and I'd be like, but then they was like, you know, she would make a salad, you know, cucumbers and everything. He's like, you don't want the cucumbers. I was like, why?
Why? What's happening with the cucumbers? I don't think they doing that, Nick. I don't think
Oh,
they doing that.
excuse me. Nope. Yep, that one. Yeah, because we was all tore up one night over at the house, and
Don't tell. Let me say. Let me say this. Just like they
she
say,
admitted it.
allegedly, that's a mess. Allegedly, P Diddy's mother put special sauce in the spaghetti or when she be cooking macaroni, I think, or something. It was crazy. I'm gonna go with for 200. I'm not gonna think that. Now I will say you have people that be like, I'll go to the store and buy this cake or buy some food from the store versus from somebody you know house. But would you rather deal with the germs from the people you know or those people who work in the doggone grocery store where that bake that cake and you ain't got a clue?
Girl, like, yeah, I can't even answer that. I don't want to deal with none of it.
You're just gonna
If
make your
I know
own.
you nasty, but yeah, it's kind of hard. If you don't know the next person, whoever prepared, even that restaurant, you don't know. We still be eating fast food or whatever. We still be eating their food. We don't know. Even these fine restaurants, you just literally do not know.
You do not
So
know.
you taking a gamble with your health, your life, your everything, your gut health, because you just and then be wondering why, like 30 minutes later, you want to toilet fight for your life because somebody was nasty that prepared your food. You never know.
It's not okay. That's all.
No, it's really not.
So now you be side eyeing people like, who cooking? What we got? What we doing? Yeah. Pray over your food. That's why you gotta pray over that food.
Exactly.
Let's talk about this before we get into today's topic. The young lady who sued her job, she worked for Equinox. She sued her job for $47 million because she was late. She worked there for 10 months. She was late 47 times, sued and won.
Houseway, because I might need to get her. Honey, if you're listening to this, I need to know your attorney's name, please.
Now, The headline read, I want to make sure I got it right. The headline read, Lady wins $11 million for being late 47 times in 10 months due to racism. So some people feel like, why are we using this race card? The race card, the race card. How did she win using the race card when she was late 47 times in 10 months? Now, 47 times in 10 months, that's a lot, honey.
And she was fired for that, right?
Yeah. They
Okay. How is she using racism though? How are they being racist because you were late? Like, I need to know the backstory, what's going on. Like,
I tell you how she won. She had a jury trial because her other counterparts that worked there that were white, she was
that
only
would be late.
They would be late too, but they never got a write-up.
Okay. In that case, sister,
Which caused a hostile work environment. And what was it? Oh, she also went to HR about it prior to, so she got her paper trail. And she went to HR regarding like some sexual harassment or sexual inappropriate behaviors. So HR knew, she went to them and nothing changed. So that's how she ended up winning this 47 million. So this is what we're talking about. Two people can be right at the same time.
baby,
So
listen, get your money, man.
47 times. 47 times. 4.8, and she got half days. 4 days and probably a quarter of a day a month. Honey, I'm not mad at her, but you don't like that job. You don't like the job, clearly, to be late that many days. I don't think anybody does that. Everybody just late.
Listen, I don't. In that case, I don't blame her for suing because of that. Now, I blame her for being late that many times. Because, girl, come on, you got to do better. But for suing because of racial, yeah, that right there, she had every right, and that's exactly why she won. Get your money, man. I ain't mad at you.
I was like, how? Because you saw
now
what
that you
was wrong. And hey,
matter. I ain't mad at her.
And there is the stereotype that Black people are always late. I used this example a while back where I said that, like, if I tell you, I'll be like, I knew you was going to be late. Black people are always late. But if somebody white says Black people are always late, you get to go to HR. And that term is called white fragility. If you don't know what white fragility is or have never heard of it, that's when we can say something about our own, but you can't. But watch
Listen,
they can say something about their own, and we can too, but it's not held against us. That's kind of unfair. Go ahead.
speaking of that, my brother just told me a story on Thursdays. The guy, family friend, they down there in Houston, they work together. And the guy that he works with got into it with this young non-melanated person because the young non-melanated person said something about him coming. He said, "Don't be on. You was late today. What? You was on that CPT." My brother, the family friend, went off and sent the young boy home. Yeah, and he thought it was okay to say that because his best friend is Black and he talks like that around their family all the time, and they don't say nothing.
Oh,
Baby,
so
that's your best friend in that family.
So that's almost like we can say the N word, but they can't say the N word. But since he's around a whole bunch of Black people, he could say the N word. Is that what we're saying?
Nah.
Because
Like, you're not around your best friend.
How many times have you been at a Snoop Dogg's concert, and you see some white people and all the Black people, as soon as they get to that part, want to know you're going to say the N word. All the Black people look at the white dude. You going to say it? Is he going to say it? Is he going to say it? Like,
right, because they know it'll be a riot up in that concert. But yeah, if your best friend, listen. Don't do it around me. I don't care, whatever. But if your best friend says it around you and it's okay with your best friend's family, you only do it around them. And see, the thing is, this family friend was like, my best friend is white. And then we have we got several white people in our family too. They don't, they're family. And like, oh boy was like, my best friend know better. And the best friend, we know him because he like family to us too. He is very, they don't cross that line. And they are like I said, family. They don't cross that line.
It's like George Jefferson. If y'all watch Archie Bunker or was All in the Family or the Jefferson, they wouldn't be able to handle it right now because somebody gonna be in their feelings. I want to add this to the story when I was talking about Elon Musk and how his stock has decreased so much. And his stock decreased, for those who don't know what's going on. The community, the people of America are blaming Elon Musk for cutting the aid for positive people who are HIV positive, cutting their aid, those patients. Also, that's going to be his legacy, not for him being a billionaire, real talk. Which vets can get benefits? I have a problem with that. Fought for the country, and now you got somebody else who ain't even from here telling you what benefits that you are eligible for. That's a problem. So
yeah.
So I just feel like are you harming the people? Yes. To me, cutting all that and him making a decision, ultimately we need to put it on who it needs to be on, and that's the president. So the president hired him to do that. So we shouldn't be upset with somebody doing their job. Just like we use, for example, the girl washing her hands. We need to call Mr. King. Mr. Burger King, Mr. Burger King, you got this chick working for you and she don't wash her hands. Not be so mad at her. She needs to take accountability for it. But the president hired this man. So I don't think we need to be looking at that. We need to look at the decision making. And the reason, I'm going to say this one more time, cutting the aid for patients who are HIV positive. So you know what that means. If you can't get your medication, and medication is very, very expensive, you will go into full-blown AIDS. Now, what is it going to cause? Unnecessary disabilities, real talk, and ultimately death for these people. Now, like I said,
they don't care.
Yeah, HIV and cutting their aid, that is sad. But you have people who are diabetic, who all kind of diseases, and just cutting their aid is the issue because there's so many millions that they're cutting for like Medicaid. And it's already where you have to be under 12,000 a year in order to be eligible. And it's like,
yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So that's, I mean, come on, we need to help each other. And it's like, you hear that, and we're supposed to be the richest country. It's not looking like that. We about to be having flies on our forehead and stuff. Like, we need to wake up. And
listen,
y'all voted, and you think it's a game, and it is not a game. Especially when you I love my vets, when you're questioning a veteran. There should be no question with veterans.
None.
They did it. They fought for our country. There should not be somebody else determining whether they need assistance and getting benefits. It should be a given. You served, here you go. Like, come on.
I have an issue with the fact that, yes, the president did hire Elon.
Mm-hmm.
Elon is from South Africa. He ain't gonna go over there and do and pull that mess over there. Number one. Number two, you're hiring a South African to make all these decisions for these Americans, but then you're trying to deport anybody else and take away their green card that's not from here.
But he can't do it without the okay of the president. See, that's what I'm saying. Let's look at it for what it is. It's interesting how somebody else, you don't like what this person is doing, but they were hired. He hired him. Hold him.
That's what I'm talking about, the president.
Yeah, hold him accountable. That's where I'm at.
That's what I'm talking about. I have an issue with him because you hired Elon. He's a South African. You're hiring him, but then you're turning around and trying to deport and snatch away green cards of all these people that live here, taking away their citizenship and trying to ship them back to their country.
You
Send
listen,
Elon's butt back over there.
listen, you in the neighbor's house right now, what you talking about? Let's talk about you are cutting the benefits and the aids of people right here. We ain't even talking about sending people back that didn't came over to visit and didn't go home. And we trying to evict them. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like they came to visit
But
just
yeah,
like
that's just
spending the night and getting mailed at my house. Now I got to go through this whole process. They're evicting those people. But my problem is if you are there, this is your house. You live here. And you're cutting the aids of vets who fought for this country. Not important to you because you came to visit as well. That's
listen, yeah, that my thing. They're cutting aid for certain things that like that's not okay. Cutting aid for the vets, cutting aid for Medicaid and things like that. How about cutting some of the extra kickbacks that y'all are getting? Hmm.
yeah,
Because they're trying to find angles and corners and cut stuff. And I understand that we are in a deficit, but guess what? Start with y'all salaries because you're getting extra kickbacks. You're getting extra money. Their angle is to cut stuff so that they can't, you know what I mean? Because they get these bonuses and stuff. Cut that.
I want my
They
bonus.
got y'all money.
I ain't okay with cutting mine. And I hear what you say, so that people could give them more money, figure out what it is, you make more money, but don't go touching my bonuses now.
No, I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about those that are running the Congress and everything. Like
I understand where you're going, but if I'm making top dollar, honey, what Jay-Z say? I got 99 problems, and you ain't one. Nuh-uh. Mr. Jackson. I'm accustomed to living a certain lifestyle, and I don't want it to stop, but I don't want to hurt anybody. But I don't want to give you my stuff either, because you might not take care of it. And what do I mean by that? Prime example. You see the Mega Millions. How many of us, this lets you know if you're going to be broke. How many of us already spent it before we even know who won? That part. Yeah. See, now I ain't my check, Nick. I'm cutting my check for the increase because I already know. So you could get more. But that's what we do.
yeah, baby, I be spending it in my head like, I can do this, I can do that. Yes. I know what people that that's been in my corner, that had my back. I know how much I would give them already off the rip. Everybody else, if you start ringing my phone, what's up, cousin? What's up, friend? Kick rocks, because when I was at my lowest point and needed somebody, I don't even remember getting a phone call. Or if I called you just to say, hey, how you doing? I wouldn't get it.
Do you think that they'll call you? Do you really think that?
Yes.
That's silly. I'll be cracking up.
That's money, yeah.
All right,
because I've already had a relative be like, yeah, I know if you want that type of money, I know I'm good for it. And I was like, where was you at when I needed anyway?
Sometimes it's just like if you loan somebody some money and they know they owe you. And they be like, let me borrow $20. And every time they see you, they know they owe you, just like you looking at them, you know they owe you. They know they owe you, you know they owe you. But they don't pay you. Well, guess what? It only costs $20 to get rid of them. Because they better not come back asking for no more. But I want to get into the shop topic. Meeting the family why. If you're going out with somebody and they want you to meet the family, how do you feel? Or let me say dating, because you're collecting data. Y'all getting to know each other. And they say, hey, I want you to meet my family. What does that mean? Fellas, I want to know. Ladies in the comments that's calling in too. I want to know. 619-902-2287. Go ahead.
Been there, done that.
What does that mean?
And been there, done that. And this was some months back, like the end of last year. Met this guy, dating
Okay.
app. We talking for like a couple of days. Next thing I know, he was like making plans. My mama want to meet you, my sister, and this and that. And then he was trolling on my page and seeing that I had pictures of the ex-husband. And if he'd have trolled a little bit more, he'd have seen pictures of the other ex-husband. His thing was, why do you still have them pictures? Why does it matter? We are divorced. Well, exactly. You're divorced. So why do you have them pictures on your page? Why does it matter?
But that's controlling. Okay, so forget that. Let's stick to this. Meeting.
Yeah, that's what we're coming into all of that. So he goes to tell his mom and his sister and people at work and all of that. The same people that he want me to meet want to meet me. Dude, it ain't even
he tells them what?
About the pictures. And do you think that's wrong? That's very controlling. But no, I don't want to meet your family. And we just we just trying to get to know each other to see if we compatible to even date. Go on a few dates. Dude, I ain't trying to marry you. Why would I want to meet your family and we only been talking on the phone, video chat for like 2 or 3 days?
So if somebody wants you to meet their family, that means that they're looking at you as a spouse, you think?
To me, I think so, because like what the agitator said, he not gonna bring you around his family and his friends unless you are it. And that with most guys, that's it. Like, especially with the mamas, they ain't gonna bring you around their mama unless they are really serious about you. Dude, I don't want to meet your family if we not.
Or the mama might be a Diddy mom, so that they think that they're special, and they bring everybody around. So let me see. I got some fellas here.
And that's another reason why it's a no.
Comments. I'll read one of the guys' comments. Well, for me, if I'm introducing you to my family, I must really care about you, but it ain't gonna be because we dating. We have to be further along than just dating. Okay. To me, it means, hey, listen, I'm feeling you and I'm looking forward to more times like this. Okay. So they agree with you, Nyk. You must be special. Do you meet the family? Have you ever been in a situation where you're like, you're not special to me, so I don't want to meet your family?
And that instance.
Yeah. I know that there's a lot of females families like, whoa, wait a minute, pump your brakes, we're moving way too fast. Slow down. Whoa, we just met. So
right, he was entirely too much. Now, when I was in Houston, that older guy that I had been talking to, like I met his family, like we wasn't talking that long, and I had met the sister and the mom and everything. So yeah, so
me personally, I don't want to meet the family. I don't want to meet the family. Like when you said when dude was on your Facebook and then he already spoke to his family about, is this right or wrong, sir? Bye, not talking to you. Boom, because now you telling your family everything that goes on, and that will be like your relationship. But I don't want to meet your family. You know why? Because whatever intentions you have, I probably don't have those intentions for you.
Exactly.
You're not meeting my family, and I know a lot of women who won't allow a guy, won't bring them to their house to meet their children. We'll meet out in public, and they'll know you from, the public place. But no, you're not coming to my home. And you have guys who feel some type of way. Why do you want to meet the family so bad? Why are you trying to be here? Where you live
exactly. I don't. Yeah, I was like, nope. No, thank you. I'm not coming. I'm not doing that. Not right now. No. And then the fact that this crazy person went and inboxed the other guy that I had been talking to. I mean, went straight up in his messenger. Yeah, you crazy. And you think I'm supposed to meet your mama?
You're moving too fast because you're jumping all over. The crazy guy, the guy that was looking at your pictures that wanted you to meet his family, started seeing who you see. That was a sign. That's good. And see, just imagine you went over there and met the family. I don't want to know none of y'all. I don't want any.
Nope. Because if you that crazy, the rest of them crazy.
Well, here's the thing. Someone made a statement before, and they said you have to meet the family, shake that family tree, to let the nuts fall out. You can see who the nuts, and then you up here got the nut.
And that's why he's blocked.
But that's kind of, listen, that's kind of dangerous. But I don't want to meet your family, because then that means that I'm lightweight stuck. Because now to meet your family, I like those people, but I'm not feeling you. Or watch this. You go over there, you meet the family, and you find out that you got the ugly cousin or the ugly brother.
Oh, girl, that would be harsh.
You be like, whoa,
I'd be upset.
how did I get the slow guy? Oh my, what?
Right. Like, really?
Okay, so Mr. Stevens said, I can count on one hand how many women met my children. I see, when you meet the children, I think that's when you might be special. But you got to meet them. You have to meet them in the house. See, that's the difference. Meeting them in the house. How was that introduction? That's where you be like, okay, not out in public and you done met somebody. No, you're not special. No, don't know you.
Right.
Like, those are things that you gotta take into consideration.
Right. My middle daughter.
Introduce. Okay, Mr. Stevens, I need you to type that or call in. Let me put the number up there, 619-902-2287, because I want to know, how did you introduce them or introduce her as? Was she
Right.
daddy's friend? You know what I mean? Went to high school with? Or daddy's girlfriend, your potential stepmom?
Right. Now, see, my middle daughter, she met a couple guys before this boyfriend she got now, a couple guys, and they knew she had a baby. Yeah, we want to see, I want to meet the baby. You going where for the weekend? Bring me my baby.
Wait.
Bring my baby.
Wait, no, they want to meet the baby daddy. Is that what you were saying?
No, they want to meet the baby.
Okay.
They want to meet the baby for what?
Yeah,
y'all ain't been talking long enough. Bring me my grandbaby. You can go spend the weekend with him. Bring me that's why I had my baby most of the time last year.
That's a red flag to me. Why a man want to meet your child? Like, what plans you got? What's your intentions?
And then was claiming her. Oh, bring my baby, my daughter. No, that's not.
Mr. Stevens said, my friend. So that's different. That's different. And then I'm sure probably like, oh, you my friend. What that mean? Like, what? I'm not.
When I was introduced to children, I was Miss Nicole. And then when we got into a relationship, I'm still Miss Nicole, but this is daddy's girlfriend. And then when I got married to the two, this is your stepmom. Period, point blank, end of conversation. So yeah, it's levels to it. It's levels to it.
I guess so. I don't want to meet your family. Nope. Unless it's serious.
Not yet.
Less than 3 months, your theory. Nothing. There's nothing. Zero.
Right.
Zilch. I do not want to meet your family. I'm telling you. No, you don't want them to meet me either.
Yeah, like you said, less than 3 months, then no.
Because if you're a people person and you, like I said, you end up liking the person and you be like, oh, or they thinking it's something more than what it is, and your intentions are not their intentions. They thinking,
right.
Oh, this thing's this sliced bread, and oh, I'm gonna be with her, and she like, no, we cool. What? We have a great working relationship, and when I say that not that we're in the same workplace, but you might have the same mindset and be like, oh, okay, business minded, and you bouncing off each other. I don't want to be with you like that.
And that's what the nut told the mama.
Look, I don't want to feel special. No. Can you come to
right? And that's
no.
Right. That's exactly what the nut told mama. Oh, this is my future wife. No, what you mean? We hadn't even been talking a week. Ew.
But see, you know what? See, that right there, that makes me think that you take everybody over there, and she's thinking she's the special one because I introduced her to my mom, and mom, as soon as you leave out, like, child, I don't know who he with this week.
Exactly.
Do you take them to the family reunion? How do you know when to take them to the family reunion?
I ain't taking you to my family reunion unless we've been together at least 6 months. And that's
Good.
the shortest time. Like I know we got to be together. But I never took any of my boyfriends. I always took the husbands or the husband to be, like my fiance. That's when they got to go
I
to
ain't
the
taking no
family functions.
fiance. I'm taking a husband because you always gonna have
Well,
you had a few great aunts sitting back there and be like, "But what happened to so and so?" You be with somebody else. You be like, "What? Oh, that didn't work out." Now you got to sit
they
down for
can
3 minutes to tell him,
still,
huh?
they can still do what happened with girl. Like, what
Well,
happened to
you
the other husband you
married them,
had?
but you married them, so now they're family.
Right.
So you bring the husbands to the family reunion. I'm looking for the husband because I know your husband got some great assets, meaning he can fix things. So I got stuff broke in my house. Your husband a bomb. Am I allowed to hire your husband to do my housework after you divorce?
I don't care.
Okay. Is your husband allowed to the reunion if you guys have children after the divorce?
I don't care.
Okay, I'm looking in the comments.
If
Yep.
we if it was amicable, I don't
Uh-huh.
care.
Okay. I think if you have children with the said family member and you guys are split, I think yes, if they can't drive themselves. So you bring them to the reunion.
Right.
I,
I mean, I really don't care because we have family members, aunts, and like aunts and uncles, especially the aunts though on my dad's side, because there was more boys than there was girls. So we have several aunts that we still call and so and still come around the family because they have children. Because once you a Keller for life, baby.
okay,
I don't care
so
how many times you've been married.
once you have children, so is that the stipulation?
Yeah, once you have children, like you auntie for life. I don't care how long y'all been divorced. And that's how we are. Like, we don't care how long you've been divorced, you still family. Like, come on.
Okay. All right. So once you have children, you're family for life. So always, if that was your cousin, that's your cousin. Still there. I see. Okay. Noelle said they're family. See? Don't. So here's the look. The moral of the story is don't just be marrying people because you introduced them. You brought them to the family. Just because y'all don't click, don't mean that all right, they ain't together no more, so we're done. Nope. Not doing it. Not doing it. That's my family. Ah. All right. I don't have my music, my theme, my Mels Medical Moment music. I want to talk about. I need to put it up there. I know what to do. I know how to fix that. Here we go, lovely people. Hey, Mels Medical Moment. We're gonna ring that bell. Ring that bell. We're gonna talk about tips for preventing dehydration. Here's the key. Number one key, especially if you have littles outside and it's the summertime. If they're thirsty, they're already dehydrated. That was easy, right?
Basically.
All right. So what you want to do, you want to eat foods that that are high in water content, your watermelons, those type things. Um, the early dehydration symptoms, and you know what? I want to put that out there really, really fast. Like I said, if you're thirsty, go ahead. You're dehydrated. Drink up, drink up, drink up. If you are exercising, make sure you drink water. Even though you are not thirsty, just keep drinking water. If you go like this, stretch your lips out, and they crack, you dry.
You're dehydrated.
Okay, you are dehydrated. Also there is some hydrating foods. Like I said, watermelon. Nick was talking about the cucumbers earlier, strawberries, lettuce, those things have a lot of water. Okay. So make sure that you have that, pack it up, put it in the car. Sugars, those sugary drinks, that's not the answer. That is not the answer. Those people who like, I don't want to say the name of it, but the sports drinks, I don't want to say, I'm deliberately, omitting the name. Those people feel as though, oh, okay, well, that's what we need. That's what we need to stay hydrated. No, that puts the water, the salt, and the sugar back in the body once you like laid out. Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's the electrolytes.
yeah, if you are exercising, just make sure you have a water bottle. Carry a water bottle. That'll let you know how much you're actually drinking. Check your urine. Urine should be clear. If you got some yellow urine, drink up, drink up. If you got light yellow in the straw, which meaning like a straw color, you pretty good still, but you need to start. But if you got that dark brown that look like dark liquor, baby, please drink. Please, please, please drink. It is extremely important. It's hot outside and this weather is going from one extreme to the other. All right. There are some tips on staying hydrated during the summer. So it's important that you guys check those out. We got the internet now. Before we didn't have the internet, so we had to sit there and go to the doctor. So they'll tell you to drink that water. The signs and symptoms of it, I told you already. If you can stretch your lip, you get cracks in your lips, you're scratching your skin because your skin is dry. That's one. Sensitivity, irritation. If you feel as though that your mood changed and you're irritated, drink, drink, drink. Told you about that dark yellow urine. Now, muscle cramps. Sometimes you get that as well. Some people feel like they're going to take a spoonful of mustard. That's old school. It works. Okay. Drink, drink. Rapid breathing. Mel, why would I have rapid breathing? What does that say? It is alkaline and acidosis. I don't want to go into the science part of it, but when you breathe out, you'll see like I'm breathing, all water comes out. Airborne, you heard that part, like airborne particles that just out in the air. You need to drink, drink, drink. That's very important. What other ones is it? You can carry Pedialyte. To me, that's more safe, especially if you have like elderly people. Go ahead and just have yourself some Pedialyte. Toss that, and you can get that salt, i.e., sodium, in your body. Now, if you find yourself dizzy and lightheaded, call 911. That means you are severely dehydrated. Okay. All right, lovely people. Had to get that out. Get yourself some little sandwich bags and stuff like that. Put it in a lunchbox. Get the little ice, that little, what is it called? That keeps your food cold. And go have your nice snacks. And it's not a racial thing or a black thing because they got watermelon. Avoid alcoholic beverages and caffeine. And I know that we are all on this coffee kick. You got your iced coffee and all that. That is bad for you in the summer. All right. So avoid that. Cool down, sit down, kick your heels up. If you feel lightheaded while you're waiting on 911, you can lay flat on your back and elevate your feet. Like put them up, against the wall so that blood flow can go up, can go back up to the brain, oxygenated, goes over into the lungs, gas exchange, come back out, and it can get oxygen to where it needs to be. What else is there? When you sweat, that's why I say exercise, make sure you have like a bottle of water with you because you can put that back in, because any way of excreting fluid, excreting water, urine, sweat, breathing rapidly, like I was saying, same thing. You're getting rid of the water. Okay. So we need to make sure that we are putting that back in during this time. You can, if you are that person that feel like I don't like watermelon, what should I do? You can infuse it with flavors, but you got to watch out because those zero sugar drinks, the body doesn't know what that is. It's foreign. And I'm going to say one, Splenda. Look on those packets because there's so much that's causing cancer. You better go back to original sugar water. And I told y'all to stay away from a lot of drinks, but just go ahead and just put just a little bit in there if it tastes a little bit better. But you got to consume the water. That is what I had to say. All right. My people, Nyk, you said a life sentence. He said he did a life sentence. He got to get out of jail. What you going to do?
Listen, I ain't got a dog in that fight. It's whatever the judge says.
The judge said 1 life sentence.
I'm talking about the one that's gonna do his lawsuit. That's gonna judge the lawsuit. Whatever he say. I ain't got a dog in that fight.
She ain't got a dog in that fight, and she ain't doing it. All right, today's footnote. Life is ours to be spent, not saved. So live your life to the fullest, lovely people. That is my time, and time is something I know we cannot get back. So I appreciate each and every single one of you guys spending your time with me and Nyk right here every Saturday. Find you, embrace you, most importantly, always, always love you. Until next week, people, we know what it is. 1, 2, 3. Shout out.
Shot top.
Oh, it's you big time. Nyk gonna hear that and be like, I told you it was her.
At the same time you did.
You know what? I'm looking at some of the comments that are still going on. And yes, if you are a coach, go ahead and do your thing. I see some of you guys say pickles for cramps. That helps. But if it's hot outside and you're dehydrated, you don't want the salt. So
Gotta drink water.
you run track and stuff like that, a spoonful of mustard, that'll help you out. Just a spoonful. Okay. It's actually a tablespoon. Tablespoonful. Boom. And it's supposed to help those cramps. And like with blood clots and things like that, let me tell you something. I'm just giving you a suggestion. Home remedies work, but you got to go all the way back. Don't go to this last generation with the home remedies. Or if you do,
all the way back.
great aunt and ask them, you need a cosigner, okay? Because some of this new stuff is not okay. And I'm just going to put this out here. And I know this is the after show part of it. Sometimes the new medicine is not okay. So if your doctor is saying, and understand this, physicians practicing medicine. There's a lot of people, filing malpractice suits, but it clearly says physicians practicing medicine. Research is how we learn. So old remedies do work. We know that a lot of medication, like the pills, in pill form things that we have, that we take, it will ruin our liver. Fortunately, we can have a little piece of a liver and it'll grow back. That's the blessing. But I need you guys, instead of looking straight at, I need pills, I need a medicine. I'm not a holistic person, but I do have Dr. Camila, who is a holistic doctor. I'm gonna have to get her on the show, that are like, can we go back to the basics? Basic things. And this is how basic it is. There's somebody who had a fever. They have a thermal blanket. And it's like, oh God, we need to do this. They got a high fever. How do I do it? They have a thermal blanket. They have a cooling blanket, all these different devices, and you plug it in to cool the body off. And these are in hospital settings to have that fever decrease. What about, watch this, the power went out. Boom. Nothing was breaking the fever. I'm looking around like, really, nobody's thinking? You go get a bucket of ice. That's what we know when we were younger.
Mm-hmm.
You put that ice pack with a rag, boom, up under them armpits, the neck. How many of us know the neck, the forehead? You got to do the original. Let's go back to the original. I see you old school alcohol, rubbing alcohol, that alcohol, not with the isopropyl or however you pronounce it, not drinking alcohol. So those are things that we have to go back to. Also, with the drinking alcohol, understand it's a blood thinner. So if you are on a blood thinner, i.e. aspirin, Eliquis, look at all this. This is all Mels Medical Moments.
Warfarin.
Yeah, warfarin, Coumadin, all of those. You know what your blood thinner is because they keep coming up with some. Alcohol consumption is not your friend. All right? Okay, so please be careful. Let your children go outside if it's fresh air and play with them, or sit on the porch, because they say on the East Coast we don't have enough vitamin D. Well, don't nobody want to go outside because y'all so bougie now. Y'all want to be up under the AC. And what is making the AC stay cool? Some type of chemical. Get that fresh air. If you don't go outside, it is so important. And it was somebody that was on here. I talked to them during COVID and they had COVID. Don't sit in that. Open up a window on one end of the house and open it on the other end. Let that fresh air circulate through your home.
Mhm.
Even if it's upstairs, nobody's upstairs. Open two windows, one end and the other end. That's all room. My grandmother did that, and I know. And she said, get rid of them old spirits in the morning that you done slept, boom, and get some new air coming in. So please, 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 and yes, you're right, the air quality is awful, but we got to do what we have to do for us. Get out and get some. Some is good. As long as they stop smoking in the park, then you could take, look, then you can take the littles out. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you would like to donate to the channel, you can do so via the Cash App, which is $ Shop Talk with Mel, PayPal Shop Talk with Mel. And I want to thank you personally. And I get $1, $2, $5, $10. Those dollars matter. $1. I so appreciate you guys. No lie. When I see those amounts, I was like, you know what? That's all right. And it touches my heart. It touches my heart because I know that you did everything that you could do and what you could afford, and that you enjoy the content that we offer here at Shop Talk with Mel. All right, Cornell, window open. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. We've been rocking. This is year 15. The scholarship is Jasmine this year. June 21st, we're going to have a great time. Y'all know I like to have fun. I like to play games. That's my thing. We are going to do it. If you are in the area, and you would like to come, because like I said, the proceeds is for a scholarship for a young lady. And my scholarship, somebody did ask that, and I'm addressing it right now. With my scholarship, it is not when you are walking through the door, or we're going to buy some books or whatever it could be. Mine is before college. So when you're on your way to college, you have to buy linen for the dorms when you're there. You have to buy the little microwave. You have to get the little refrigerator, preparing for it. So that's that. And I use the proceeds for my fundraiser for that. So again, if you would like to donate, the tickets are $35. We have a good time. You will be entertained and edutained. We got a DJ throwback. He does it every single year. And we're going to have a great conversation. That's the best part. So come one, come all. If you are interested, there are different physicians that do donate and different people who donate and they can't make it. And if I have any extra tickets, all you got to do is call, shoot a text, let me know, and I'll be able to tell you. And you'll be assigned a number, and I'll let you know, what tickets are available if there's somebody who would like to come but can't afford it, especially the way the world going right now, right?
Ooh, child.
You already know how that go.
Yes.
I'm telling you. But yeah, Nick, we having a good time. You coming? When will you be here? It'll be in 2 weeks.
The 20th.
Oh, okay, the night before. June 21st, 2 to 6. All right, we're going to have a good time. And you'll be able to meet the crew, all of the crew. Kim Ham, the go-to girl, Art B, Amber D, everybody always shows up at the event. So you'll be able to meet everybody. You won't be able to meet BK. Shout out to BK. May you rest in peace, because miss him. That's
Yes.
I thought about him today, but I know he's going to be here in spirit because he was on my mind.